Imagine a place free of problems, scams, and thievery. A place where comfort is your only concern. Imagine Comfort Time Live.
All right, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of Comfort Time Live. I am your host, Tom Platania, and if you'd like to call in and ask questions, comments, maybe answer one or two of our trivia questions we're going to have, you can give us a call at 772-340-1590. And you can give us a call. Going to have a trivia question here, and a little bit later on to give away a free electrical and air conditioning tune-up from one of our sponsors, Elite Electric and Air Conditioning, right here on the Treasure Coast. They give some incredible service. We've had a lot of our listeners that have been utilizing their services, and I've gotten a phone call from quite a few of them saying that they're very, very pleased with the service. And that's important to me, that I get the phone calls back so that I know that the people that we're trying to help promote locally in our community, that they're continuing to follow the guidelines that we promote here on Comfort Time Live. All different kinds of ways to contact us. Comfort Time Live is on Facebook, if you're a Facebook kind of person. Comfort Time Live's on Twitter. Comfort Time Live has its own website, comforttimelive.com. And a lot of listeners have been going there and looking at a lot of the information that we have posted, as well as sending texts, not texts, but emails about things that they want to talk about on the show, guests that they want to bring onto the show. And that's good. That's what helps me to keep some fresh ideas in the fire. And then what I do is go out and find businesses that fit our criteria to promote for those individual trades, and that is where the absolute hardest part comes in. I don't know. Should I lower my standards?
I say never lower your standard.
Good. It's
no.
I struggle. I really struggle, and somebody will say, "We want you to find a roofing company." Because I'm having issues with my roof. That's a big thing when storms and whatnot come. And can you have a roofer on the show? And I'll get 3 or 4 emails and texts from that. And so I'll go out and I'll start looking for some good roofers. And I'll find a couple decent names in the community, but then I start doing some research.
Mm-hmm.
And move on to the next one.
No, I even, and I'm just a girl. So I don't really know about these things, but I know that pool building and roofing can be kind of tricky.
And I'm not there. There are a couple good ones out there.
Because you hear stories.
Yeah, absolutely. And there's some good ones out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying, so just because you're a roofer doesn't mean that I'm putting you down. It's just I have had difficulty, and I have contacted a few that I thought were worthy, and it's just a matter of them getting back to me and wanting to be on the show. And all I'm looking for is just want to create a community of organizations within our town here that we can help to guide people in a direction. It doesn't have to be just one company. Mm-hmm. If it's multiple companies that we can allow. Kind
of like a directory of people who play by the rules?
Exactly. That's exactly what we're looking for. And, then they can go to the website, and then they still have to make the decision on which one they want to choose. Mm-hmm. But at least they know it's a good start, to what they're doing. And, I have a little bit higher standards than, let's say, the lady on the internet that promotes a big website. We don't need to mention her name, or the other BBB company that has organizations. I try to be a little bit more legitimate about the companies that I recommend.
Well, I guess you could go, who would I want to spend my money with?
Well, that's what I do. I mean, I look at it. If this was my investment.
My house, what would I want
when
for
I
my
pick up the
house?
phone, I pick up the phone and I call them. How do they answer the phone for me?
Yeah.
That's important to me. Maybe it's nitpicking, but it's important to me because that tells me that if a company doesn't care about the quality of the person answering the phone, the first point of contact, well, what kind of service am I going to get down the road? If they don't care about that, that should be one of your best employees, personality-wise, enthusiasm-wise, work ethics. I mean, that person should be, when you call that person, you should feel just happy after you speak to them just for a few minutes. Not the proverbial, thank you for calling, hold.
Yeah. Yeah. And usually, I mean, if you're a homeowner and you're calling them, you have a problem.
Yeah.
You already have a problem.
Yeah. And I don't, in a lot of the businesses that I call, you get that sense of the lack of urgency that I'm the employee in the company. My ability to answer that phone depends on the person on the other line to keep my business going.
Exactly.
And if
Maybe they don't need business.
Maybe not. And that's what customer service, I think, in this nation in general is the absolute worst thing.
Well, you hear people call it customer no service
exactly.
all the time.
That's exactly it. And I think 90% of businesses have just either don't realize.
It's mass mediocrity, too, because what happens is if you're not going to get service over there, and then I can cut back service over here, and everybody's used to not getting any service, so it doesn't matter.
Yep, absolutely. And that's what the book that I'm writing, that should be out hopefully in another 6 months.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, I'm actually finishing up the touches on that, and it's gonna play a lot based on the radio show and a lot of the things that I've been doing over the years, and I have a gentleman who's helping me with it because I'm slightly grammatically challenged. And man, I have some great thoughts, but
it looks different when they put it into words, right?
my thoughts are like spaghetti. You can pick each piece off and it makes a lot of sense. But so I'm hoping in another 6 months it should be ready for publishing. We're gonna, obviously we're gonna offer it here on the show. We're gonna offer it on the website, and whatnot. And it's gonna be some pretty impressive things. I mean, it's gonna be a lot of information that people just really didn't think about. It's gonna focus a lot on the consumer side, a lot on the business side, but very informational that somebody can pick up, and they don't have to be an Einstein to read it. It's just gonna be very. When me and the gentleman were talking, I told him specifically. I says, I've tried to read some books in my time where you get past the first 3 pages and you're like, huh? And one of them, I forget what the name of it was, but it's something to do with a book on why God's not real or something along those lines. I forget what the title was, but it was along that premise. And, I'm not an idiot. I mean, I know some big words. But I started reading this book, and it was like every other word, I had to get the dictionary out and go, huh? And it just absolutely, totally, and the guy I'm talking with, he's like, when you write a book, the more simplistic the wording is, the easier for your audience. So, but that's what focus. So this is going to be, so hopefully in about 6 months, there's going to be a lot of focusing on that. And that's just a strong feeling I have with a lot of companies. And that's why I really thrive on hearing back from listeners regarding people that we have recommended. And even if you have a company that you've heard a lot, that you've had some really unethical service from, oh, by all means, I love to hear about that too. Okay. If you have a company and they scammed you, they took money from you, oh, absolutely. I want to hear about that. Now, you don't have to do it on air. I'm okay with that. Send me an email. Say, hey, I was doing business with this company. And you know what? With I don't want to say the power that the radio show has and the people that I know and that I have communications with, there's a really good chance that we can work on helping you get your money back. I can't promise anything because I don't know what the situation is, but I'm working diligently to get more people in that group of protectors, I guess you would say, teaming up with the city of Fort Pierce now to start doing their unlicensed and unethical contractor like we do with the city of Port St. Lucie. So we hopefully should have that here probably first of the year, where we can make it a consistent thing where we can start doing that. So we'll have 1 day a month, we'll have the Port St. Lucie Contractors Exam Board, and another day we'll have the city of Fort Pierce. And it may get to the point where we get enough cities together where I'm going to have to start doing those on my Blog Talk radio show, which over 19,000 viewers now.
Great.
On the Blog Talk. And when you go to Comfort Time Live on the right-hand side towards the bottom, you'll see the Blog Talk radio link, but you can also go on the website and everything like that. It's all there, blogtalkradio.com. But it's really great because I can do the shows any day of the week, 2 hours a day, anytime. So it really makes nice. Like I did a show on Friday where, because we only had a half-hour show here, I actually did an hour and a half show on the Blog Talk. Had a couple guests on the show from one guy was in Michigan, so I brought him on the show, was able to talk about him. And so it's good. And
technology.
Yeah, it's nice. And the great thing is I could sit from the comfort of my home with my shorts and a T-shirt and a Crown Royal on the rocks next to me.
And nobody knows.
And nobody knows. All right. So, well, once again, good morning. And, well, the end of the world didn't happen. We're still here.
You know what? I was asking around, do we have to the end of the day?
Well,
maybe we have to the end of the day. Maybe tomorrow.
No, and that's actually that's the trivia question. This is the trivia question.
Oh, okay. So I'll hush.
The trivia question is, and if you there's actually going to be 2 trivia questions. So you'll win 2 free inspections from Elite Electric and Air Conditioning, either electrical or air conditioning, or maybe you can get both of them. And you can always give them a call and persuade them. Well, the first trivia question, 340-1590. Obviously we know what the day was. The day was today that the world was supposed to end. What was the exact time?
Oh, so there was an exact
There
time.
is an exact time.
There was an app for that on the smartphone. It was the countdown clock. Yeah, it was like...
I was watching CNBC this morning.
So anybody who has that app, real quick.
And it was absolutely hilarious this morning. And obviously that gives part of it away. It was absolutely hilarious this morning what they did on it. It was just funny as could be. But 340-1590, who can give me the exact time that the world was supposed to end today? You give us a call here at the studio and you'll win a free air conditioning or heating, because we're getting into the chilly season now, 59 degrees outside.
I say grow up. It's not that cold. No heat, not yet.
Well, it's toasty in here. I should take this off. But give us a call here at the studio, 340-1590.
Oh, honey, put the heater on. It's 62 this morning.
Oh, no. I'm getting to the point now.
I'm like, open the windows. Let the air go
I
through
used
the
to get the
house.
heat pump or the air conditioner. I'd have heat or air on. But I'm to the point now where I've put on some snuggly weight, I guess you could say.
Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
All right, I'm going to remember that.
It's called snuggly weight. So I'm to the point where when it gets cold out, I just fly open the windows and I just crawl under the blankets. So that's what I'm doing. So I don't think the heater in my house.
It was a nice chilly this morning, though. It wasn't damp cold. It was like
the problem is
nice,
it's got to
cool.
get chilly enough that the humidity goes away. Because even when it's in the 60s, unless you got a house that's got a really nice cross breeze, which I don't, it's just so humid that even when you open the windows up, it's like, oh,
well, see,
God.
that's damp cold.
Yeah,
It's uncomfortable.
nasty.
That's when I would turn the heater on.
Yeah.
Pull that dampness out.
Yeah, absolutely. So give us a call at the studio. What was the exact time today that the world was supposed to end? And obviously it didn't, and we're still here.
Yeah, the way you phrased that, I think it already happened then, huh?
Well, possibly. So another project that I'm working on to help with folks out there in the community is, obviously you've heard me talk about Unlicensed to Steal. And it is a work in progress. It's going to be a long work in progress. But, hey, let's go to the phones first. We have line 1. It looks like Jay. Jay, how you doing today?
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, young man. How about yourself?
I'm doing great. Thank you.
Congratulations on still being with us today.
Yes, I am.
So, Jay, what is the answer? It has to be the exact time.
6:12.
Oh! No, sir. You are so close.
What would have been better is if it would have been 12:21. That would have been cool.
Well, that's the date, 12/20. Oh, I see what you. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Duh. You are close, Jay. You are really, really close. According to
6:12.
what's that?
I thought it was 6:12.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nope. But good guess though. Good guess though, Jay. According to CNBC, which obviously if they're stating it, it's Yeah, it's pretty much right on the money. But no, he was so close, so very, very, very close.
See, I've been asking if our calendar ends every year and we just start over. Wouldn't you just start over the Mayan calendar too?
Oh, there you go. So how many more years would that be?
Our calendar ends every single year. But the funny thing was they said that when they started the Mayan calendar, they backdated it like 3,000 years. So they're trying to figure out what was the thinking there. We don't know because the Mayans are gone.
Yeah, that's what somebody was saying. You know, if the Mayans were so smart and they knew everything, why aren't they still around? All right, let's go
mystery.
to Kevin on line 3. Kevin, how you doing?
Not too bad. How are you, sir?
I'm doing awesome. What's your answer, sir?
11:11.
Oh, nope. Good guess, though. Good guess. That's a good shot. Good shot. So according to CNBC, which is obviously legitimate time, not
Really?
not MSNBC,
okay, I'll
not
make it
MSNBC, but
Yeah.
CNBC.
Okay.
Who could tell me what was the exact time that the world was supposed to end? Okay, so back to unlicensed to steal. Oh, and give us a call 340-1590 if you'd like to answer that question. Give that a shot like Kevin and Jay did. So unlicensed to steal. The whole purpose of that show is that website, just like Comfort Time Live, is to help find an easy, accessible place for people to educate themselves. Unlike other sites that are out there that are strictly based on a referral or based on an opinion, okay? Unlicensed to Steal, slowly but surely, is going to be the one-point website, unlicensed2steal.com, the one-point website throughout the nation that you can go to find unlicensed and unethical activity in your neighborhood. Okay?
Are you going to break it down state by state as you get
already
information?
is.
Okay.
It already is. When you go to the website...
Interactive? Can you
mean-
comment?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, you can comment as well. As of right now, you go to unlicensed to steal, STEAL.com, and you'll have a link that says your town. When you click on your town, there'll be every state in the United States. And now, as you click on those, right now you're not going to find your city, except for Port St. Lucie. Port St. Lucie's on there. I think I have Fort Pierce and maybe Martin County. But what you'll do is if you don't find your location, there's a comment box on that page. What you would do is type your information in there of what area you would like to focus on. And then when I get a couple people wanting that area, I'll contact that municipality, get that municipality on board to do what Fort Pierce and Port St. Lucie are already doing. And then we're going to be able to upload that information and keep it as up to date as possible. Here's the issue with Unlicensed to Steal. It's basically kind of a non-profit organization that's going to have to be set up. So it's going to be completely by sponsorship and donations. So, but again, it's something to protect the public, and it's not opinionated. It's a fact. This guy got busted for stealing money. This guy got busted for not pulling permits. This guy so it's legal information that's not an opinion. You know, you watch, and we talk about this, you watch all these articles about these scams, and 90% of them are, well, Joe down the street said I should use this ABC company, and boy, I used them, and well, they took me to the cleaners. So a lot of it's based on referral.
Well, sometimes you may have a good deal and think you got a bad deal too, so that would be opinion as well.
Correct, but this is not opinion,
You know?
right? See,
And
that's-
even the very best company
Exactly.
can run into trouble at times.
Exactly.
And you got to cut them some slack.
Yep, that's exactly it. So that's why I don't want this to be opinion-based. I
Okay.
want it to be fact-based. Because the companies that are great, even when they do make a mistake, they correct the mistake quick enough that they don't get in front of the contractor's exam boards. That's why you'll never see, okay, unless, like an Elite Electric and Air Conditioning, unless they're appealing because they do not agree with the issue. And you know what? A lot of times that's good, because a lot of times, obviously with anything else, sometimes things are misinterpreted. You know, what are they doing versus, so but you will never see them in front of the contractor's exam board in any location for doing anything unethical or unlicensed. And that's what I want on this site. So unlicensed2steal.com. Go on to it. If you live in another city, and obviously this is probably going to be rebroadcast on Blog Talk Radio because they do that every once in a while. So if you're listening and you're in Texas or California or Ohio, it doesn't matter where you're at. Go to unlicensed2steal.com, put your town in there. I will contact that town, and we'll see if we can get the information on board there. So we're going to go ahead and take our first quick break, 340-1590. Do not forget to give us a call with the trivia question. Again, the trivia question is, who can tell me what the exact time that the world was supposed to end? Jay was the closest. And when I mean Jay was close, I'm talking Jay was close. You're listening to Cover Time Live with Tom Platania. We'll be right back.
Elite Electric.
We can do it.
Elite Electric.
There's nothing to it.
Elite Electric.
Ooh, amazing.
Elite Electric.
Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie.
Elite Electric specializes in all of your electrical needs, from security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Elite Electric has been family-owned and operated on the Treasure Coast since 1988, and they're recommended by Comfort Time Live. Visit online at eliteelectricandair.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live Friday mornings at 11 on WPSL 1590.
No matter what you want, just pick up your phone, say, come on, Elite.
And we'll get the job done.
We can do it.
Elite Electric.
There's nothing to it.
Elite Electric.
$3.2 billion per year are stolen from unsuspecting homeowners who lack the proper education to deal with home contractors. Hi, I'm Tom Platania with Comfort Time Live, heard every Friday morning at 11:05. Comfort Time Live is an independent call-in talk show focused on educating homeowners to protect themselves from unlicensed contractors as well as less than honest contractors. Go to ComfortTimeLive.com to see all our recorded shows, watch us live, or view tons of information to protect and educate yourself. That's Comfort Time Live every Friday morning at 11:05 here on WPSL.
Vomit.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. 340-1590 if you have any questions, comments, suggestions. And if you have an answer to our trivia question. Now, see, this is what I like. This is technology and social networking. Kevin, who just called on the air, has went on Facebook and befriended us. So great job, Kevin. That's what it's all about.
New friends are always a good thing.
I like new friends. I don't have many of them, so I like new friends. So thank you very much, Kevin. And as soon as I'm done the show, I'll go ahead and confirm that request. But so Unlicensed to Steal, we're working on that. So we really want to get a focus on that. And I'm working on getting some good guests in the show now. The first year, I'm kind of holding off on some things. There's some people that want to, take a little bit of breaks and vacation. So I got some guests that are going to be coming in.
'Tis the season.
Yeah, 'tis the season. So so you'll just have to sit here and listen to me. But call in and ask questions. If you have a question about, maybe you turned the heater on this morning and you got that nasty odor, or maybe you got a heat pump and you went to turn it on and it just didn't work. Give us a call. Maybe you had a bad experience with an air conditioning contractor and you want to call and talk about it without putting their name on the air. You want to talk about it and you want to ask, maybe how you could have handled it differently. You don't have to give your name. How could I have handled it differently? What should I have done differently? Now, I sat down and figured it out. February 8th is the date for our 400th episode.
Okay.
February 8th.
So we should have like streamers and balloons in the studio for you.
Absolutely.
You're
Absolutely.
expecting that now, right?
So you think about that, Carol and Craig. You think about that. If you add that up to the investment and just that's a pretty nice dollar amount. 400 episodes.
It's worth balloons and streamers.
Yeah, I think I should get like a free show or something for that. So what we're doing, and we talked about this, is we want to have that test house that we want, and I've already gotten some submissions, excuse me. Submissions, which one?
Entries.
Entries. There you go. That sounds better. From some people. But the important thing is it just you have to be.
What are you looking for that?
I want an average home. I don't want something that's 22,000 square foot and 72 air conditioning systems.
How about something that's 50 years old?
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay. The age of the house isn't big. It's just, an average, maybe something right around between 1,600 and 2,000 square foot or thereabouts. Maybe just one or two air conditioning systems, nothing bigger than that. A couple bathrooms.
Why would a 2,000 square foot house have 2 air conditioning systems?
Well, because what happens is instead of going with a big 5-ton unit to cool the house, depending on how the house is built, it's basically what you're doing is almost zoning the house off. So you would. I just get a note from from Greg. He says my 10,000th show is free.
Then you'll get your balloons and
what
streamers.
A deal, man! I knew I stuck with this radio station for a reason. Well, the reason is let's say that all of
like
your
a 2-story may have 2
could be
or
2 stories,
okay.
Yep, or maybe say all the bedrooms are on one side of the house.
Okay.
So instead of having a big 5-ton unit, you could have maybe a little 2 or 2.5-ton unit that runs just the bedrooms, and then maybe have a little 2 or 2.5-ton unit running the other side.
Is that more efficient?
Yes, much more efficient. A little bit more cost up front for the 2 systems, but if you do it when the house is being built, the benefit is that, during the day, I'm not in my room. So I don't need it to be 75 degrees in the bedrooms. So I can turn those up to 80 degrees. And then in the daytime, I'm in the living room, I'm in the office, I'm in the kitchen. So I keep that air conditioning system. Now, once again, it's only a 2.5-ton, let's say. So, of course, it's going to draw half the energy of the 5-ton. So I'm running 2.5 tons during the day at 75 degrees to keep just that section of the house cool. Then at night, I turn that one up to 80 degrees because at night when I go to bed,
not in there.
I'm not in the living room, not in the kitchen, not in the office. Now I'm in the bedrooms.
And are there thermostats that will do this all electronically where I don't even have to think about it?
Well, typically for 2 separate systems, you would have 2 separate thermostats.
But you can tell at what time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that's what's called programmable thermostats.
Cool.
And they're actually, you get energy savings credits, which is something that I'm doing now on new, and you could actually do it on an existing home. But typically it's required by law to do it on new construction homes. And it's a program called Energy Gauge or energy calculation. And what it does is it takes everything about your home and puts it into this program to see if your home passes Florida State Energy Codes.
Was that the little program we played with here on the air?
That was the load calculation.
Okay.
What that did is that told you how big of an air conditioning.
Okay.
What this does is this actually takes your whole house and tells you whether your house is energy efficient. And then what we can do is and that's something that I'll probably start doing on here, is we can probably do one of those and say, okay, here's a standard house. What would we have to do to this house to make it energy efficient? Now, the reason air conditioning contractors typically are the ones to do the energy calculation, and there's a difference. You have the load calculation, which is for air conditioner, and you have the energy calculation, which is for the energy consumption overall for the house. But the reason they typically ask that of the air conditioning companies is because the air conditioner is the 50-some% of the effect of that energy calculation. So, and that's where a lot of these houses you see being built today go with heat pumps, because the heat pump gives the house a much better energy rating without the homeowner having to go to a 16, 17, 18 SEER efficiency on new construction. So if this is something that you're interested in as a homeowner, to find out how energy efficient your home is, and then we can work on, well, what can I do? Well, if you changed your windows and put double pane windows, how much more efficient would that make my house? When I'm thinking about changing my roof from a metal roof to a tile roof, how would that make my house more efficient? I'm thinking about changing my air conditioning system. Okay, well, we'll do a load calculation, but let's look at the energy calculation. What if I put this system, and it's basically more of a pass or fail. Okay, there's numbers associated with it, but pretty much it's more of a pass or fail. But it's a pretty intensive program. But I purchased it and I've been using it for years, but I just didn't have my own copy. So now I'm also doing that for the construction industry. Anybody who builds new homes, they can send me information. I'll go ahead and do the energy calculations for them. But we do it on new homes too, just not required right now. So looking at something around the 1,600 to 2,000 square foot, 1 or 2 systems, no more than that, and maybe 2 or 3 bathrooms. Just an average electric bill. Don't call me if you got a $60 electric bill, because the whole purpose of this is to take new innovative products that are in the market to save energy in a home. Now, and we're not talking about replacing windows with triple pane, Aragon filled, tinted, high reflective E, non-break metal. We're not talking about that. We're talking about simplistic things that homeowners can do in their house, in themselves, like these fans that I'm talking to, this Larson's Fan Company, and we're going to probably have him on the air in February. He claims it can save 10% by replacing the exhaust fans in your bathrooms in your house. All right. Well, they're so simple to install, the homeowner could do it. It's plug and play.
Mm-hmm.
Same
You're
thing.
probably replacing something that's already there.
Exactly.
So just know.
Yep, exactly.
Yeah,
You're pulling it
in.
out,
Mm-hmm.
you're putting this one in, putting the screws in and being done. Now, if you're somebody who just doesn't like to mess with that stuff, then I strongly recommend, you can give Elite Electrical a call or Elite Air Conditioning, and they would actually do the install for you. But what we're trying to accomplish here is we want to have things that homeowners can do themselves, but for those who don't feel comfortable, that they can also, call a local company. The special light bulbs, the compressor protectors, which they definitely need to call an air conditioning company for that. But what they do is they reduce the power upon startup dramatically reduce it so that you don't have that huge torque.
Well, you can sometimes see that surge
Yep.
when your air turns on.
Yep, yeah, absolutely. And there's actually been what they call white paper on that flicker. And it's because of the compressor.
Mm-hmm.
When that compressor starts up, it's like a Mack truck running into a wall. And
Well, they say if you have a light bulb burning, it's better to leave. If you're going to turn it on and off many
on.
times, just leave it on. Yeah.
when's the last time that you saw a light bulb burn out while it was on? Most of them burn out when you go to turn them on.
Okay.
Right, so I
'Cause
mean,
it's
yeah,
that surge
some
of
of them are going to
electric.
burn out when it, but yeah, it's
Yeah.
the surge of electricity
Okay.
going into it. It's been running for so long, so that surge of electricity just
It's a
blows
trick
the
more of a-
element.
yeah, okay.
It just blows the element. Just like my TV at home, which I'm so happy it's finally fixed. I got a 75-inch flat screen at the house. Unfortunately, I don't have the living room in the new place that I moved into. I don't have the living room to hold it. So when you're sitting in it, it's like you feel like you're in an IMAX theater without the 3D glasses. But just went to turn the TV on, and all I heard was this loud pop. I mean, loud, just scared the death out of me. Well, obviously, I knew it was the light bulb in it. So after my wife went on the internet and Googled how to change it, and I was ready to pay somebody like $250 to come out and replace
Is that something you can change yourself?
Oh my gosh!
Really?
I thought I was
You
going to
took
have
you took the TV apart and fixed it.
I thought I was going to have to pull the whole back off this thing. So I watched the video on it. Well, this type of DLP TV, it's got one screw that this little plate comes off. There's two screws and the whole bulb assembly just slides right out. The guy showed us how to replace it in less than 3 minutes on the YouTube video.
Yeah. Isn't that great?
Oh my God! And I bought it for $99
It's
online.
a tutorial online.
Oh yeah, I
Gotta
bought
love
it
the
for
internet.
$99 online. It got delivered last night, so I'm putting it in. So I stick it in, I screw it in, I go out and I turn the TV on. Damn, the little light's popping, it's flashing. God, it's got to be in right. I'm checking it. I take it out, I put it back in, I screw this in, I go around. Still, the little light's flashing. God, I'm frustrated. So I go upstairs, I watch the video again, and I'm just like, what am I doing? I'm doing everything that he's doing. Well, the only thing I wasn't doing was the outside cover that goes on the outside of the TV that closes off where the bulb went into. It's just a protective cover. But obviously there's some kind of mechanism that you got to put the screw in that cover to seal it. The minute I did that and turned the power on, done. So
Yeah. Now I had a old Sony projection type TV, and it was fairly new. And all of a sudden, we started getting these little blue spots all over it, and there was no fix for it.
Okay, Kevin or
that's
Jay.
Jay.
I see. Jay checked it. Actually, I understand. Jay. I understand. But if you were checking it on Universal Time, Kevin would have actually been right. Now, I don't know quite what Jay means by Universal Time. What would he mean by Universal Time?
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, we'll put it this way, Jay. I'll do some research, and if I find out that your Universal Time is correct, I have your last name, I have your phone number. I promise you that I will go ahead and make sure that you get the prize. All right, so let's we're going to go to our second trivia question before we go to our break here in a second. But first, don't forget about the test house. I need people who are interested in this, and all you need is just to be able to document what your electric bill was and what your electric bill is. And we're going to give you these products for free. If they don't work, you got nothing.
You're going to talk about it right here on the show?
I'm going to talk about it right here on the
Okay.
show. If they work, you got nothing to lose.
Sure.
Nothing to lose. So I need that. That's going to be on the 400th episode. So I need your entries now. Go to ComfortTimeLive.com. Click on Contact Us and submit your name, phone number, so I can contact you and go from there. All right, the next trivia question to win the one-time heating and air conditioning, now that we're in the heating season, and or an electrical inspection. This one I'm giving you a little bit more leeway on the date. But since we're going to be celebrating Christmas in 4 days? Something like that. What's the 4 days. Okay. According to multiple websites, when was the first recorded celebration of Christmas? And I'll give you...
So you're looking for a year?
Yeah, I'll give you a year, and I'll give you within 100 years, okay? Because there was a couple different sites. They were all within the same...
So there's nothing concrete.
I guess
there's
century.
an estimate.
I guess you would say century.
These are
They were all within the same-
estimated
dates.
dates.
Yeah, estimated dates.
Okay.
So I guess you would say they were all kind of in the same century, I guess you would say, all the estimates. But they were like, 3 or 5 or 6 years off here and there. So when was the first recorded day of Christmas celebration? Okay. Obviously, we know it was December 25th, but what was the year? What was the year for that? 340-1590. We're going to go ahead and take another quick break, help promote some of our sponsors. So give us a call. What was the first recorded day of Christmas celebration? December 25th. What year? You're listening to Comfort Time Live. We'll be right back.
Elite Electric.
We can do it.
Elite Electric.
There's nothing to it.
Elite Electric.
Ooh, amazing.
Elite Electric.
Boogie, woogie, woogie, woogie.
Elite Electric specializes in all of your electrical needs, from security lighting to surge protection and everything in between. How do you think they got their name? Elite Electric. Elite Electric has been family-owned and operated on the Treasure Coast since 1988, and they're recommended by Comfort Time Live. Visit online at EliteElectricAndAir.com and learn more about their services. Elite Electric. Service today. Proud sponsor of Comfort Time Live Friday mornings at 11 on WPSL 1590.
No matter what you want, just pick up your phone, say, come on, Elite.
And we'll get the job done.
We can do it.
Elite Electric.
There's nothing to it.
Elite Electric.
Known for helping you keep that spark, now they'll help you keep cool. Elite Electric and Air, the official air conditioning sponsor of Comfort Time Live, has provided the best in heating and cooling customer service since 1988. If your electric bill is costing you more than 12 cents per square foot under air, you may be overpaying the utility company. Elite Electric and Air can help put that cash back in your pocket. Call Elite Electric and Air with 24-hour service. Dial 340-3797. That's 340-3797.
All right, we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and I just I just did a Google of what time will the world end today, and I'm going to give it to Kevin. Okay, not Jay. Jay said 6:12. Okay, that was Jay's answer, correct? 6:12. Okay. Now Jay sent us another note back here and said he verified it using Universal Time. And I just pulled up 3 different sites. All 3 sites, 11:11 UTC time, Universal Time,
Okay.
is the correct answer, or which is 6:11 a.m. for everyone living on the East Coast. Okay, so 6:11 was the answer I was looking for. However, Kevin said 11:11, so Kevin could have been using Universal Time. So I'm going to give it to Kevin. Okay, so Kevin, congratulations on that. So his answer was correct, but unfortunately, I know it was only one off.
1 minute.
It was only 1 minute off, and I've verified multiple websites now while we were on break, and every single one of them said 6:11 a.m. or 11:11. So I'm going
Now
to.
that would have been because this East Coast thing, the TV show said it did it at 6 this morning, 6:11 this morning, because
Correct.
that's where they were located.
Right, that's where they were located. That is correct. But
Universal Time is
but it's
11:11.
it's still 6. I mean, it's still 6:11 where you are. So
Right.
So I mean, in Central Standard Time, it would have been, what's that? 5:11. Yeah. So what is it, an hour difference? And then
Yeah.
so where we were at 6:11 for where we are today. So I understand. So Kevin, we're going to go ahead and give you that award you that prize. So congratulations. So back to the other trivia question: what year was the first recorded celebration of Christmas? We know it was December 25th, but what year? So we've talked about our unlicensed to steal. We've talked about the test house that we're looking to do. And now we also have, as you folks know, we do. I have CTL Consultants, which actually goes out to folks' homes and helps you to evaluate your heating and air conditioning system situation. So that very neutral opinion. We actually went out to a gentleman's home that emailed me quite a few times, been a long-time listener, and he had an issue, and him and I have talked about this multiple times. He had an issue where he had a very bad odor, and it actually turned into a stinging odor. And he has had 5 different companies out there, and some of the things that they tried to do were legitimate, but they didn't fix the problem.
an odor coming from what?
Well, that's where the problem was, is where is it coming from? Okay. So him and I had talked on the phone a few times, and he was a client of one of our sponsors. And, just because they're a great company doesn't mean they can solve all issues. So he asked me if I would come out there and take a look, and I did. And I'm really waiting for the resolution to see if he did what we talked about and if it solved the problem, and I'll be very, very happy. But we were asking certain questions about, first off, when did it start? When is it more noticeable? And he said when the air conditioner came on, the odor was much more noticeable. Okay, is it noticeable throughout the house? Is it more noticeable in one area or the other? Because obviously if there's an odor over by the air conditioner and you turn the air conditioner on, it's going to blow it throughout the house. Okay?
I've sprayed like Lysol in my air conditioner. I know it's probably not a good thing to do.
It's
Or
not.
perfume?
No,
No,
nothing.
not
They
not a
make
good
special
idea.
stuff for that, but what that Lysol will do is it has acidics in it. It'll actually eat away at your coil, and it's not good, because then that as it kind of can heat up and whatnot in there, it can actually turn. Yeah, you don't want to do that.
Yeah.
And you should keep all chemicals away unless they're specifically designed for air conditioners. Well, after we found out a bunch of questions, and we found out that the drain goes down underneath the house. Now, when they build these homes with air conditioners either in the garage or in the middle of the house, what happens is before they pour the foundation, the concrete slab of the house, the air conditioner guy goes out there and he digs a trench. And he puts a piece of 4-inch PVC in this trench. And on each end of it, he puts these little 45-degree elbows coming up. And then after they fill that in and they pour the slab over top of that, the air conditioning guy would feed a copper line through that pipe or do it ahead of time. And so then he would have the refrigeration lines out so that they would be protected underground and they would be sticking out. So now when the time came for the air conditioner to be installed, 2, 3, 4 months down the road, the refrigeration lines are already there and they can hook them up. Well, the drain line would also run through there as well. And then it would come out. Well, what must have happened is they replaced his air conditioner one time and they chopped the refrigeration lines off and ran new refrigeration lines up overhead and outside. Which, when I had my air conditioning company, we actually specialized in pulling those refrigeration lines, the old ones, out from underneath the ground and putting the new ones right back in under. And I used to have companies call me left and right, other air conditioning companies that had been working on it for days, and we would do it in 3 hours. So proprietary information, I can't tell you. But hey,
apparently that's the better way to do it, though.
If you're an air conditioning company and you want to know how to do it for a small fee, I'll be more than happy to. But that is the preferred way. But the nice thing is with running them up over ground, you can always check. You always know there's no leaks. It's easy to get to. But there are some areas where you cannot run refrigeration lines up and overhead and down the side because of aesthetics. There's a lot of communities that will not allow it at all, because then you got to cover it up with this ugly line cover. And
I don't understand why people who draw the plans for these houses don't draw the plans with the air conditioner on an outside wall and make it really simple.
Air conditioning is an afterthought to most architects and engineers.
Yeah.
It really is. It's, let's make this house beautiful. Oh, by the way.
Oh, we got to put air
This
somewhere.
little spot over here, let's just throw the air conditioner over here.
Yeah.
That's what it has. Unless you as the homeowner work with individual organizations, get a plumber in there. I want you to sit down. I want you to help me design this house. Get the air. It doesn't happen that way because of the cost. So anyway, so what had happened was they left the drain line in there, but they took everything out. Everything else was cut off. So he told me that one day he had gone outside and they kind of dug a hole around it, and it had this piece of foam on the outside of that 4-inch PVC pipe. Well, they took that piece of foam off and all this nasty water just kept pouring out. Well, that drain pipe that goes down and across is supposed to be a sealed pipe. So there should be not that amount of water in that big 4-inch piece of pipe. All the water should come out of that drain line. It never did. And that drain pipe didn't have what we call a trap on it. And a trap is just to hold, it's like siphon.
It's to hold gas back.
Yeah, it's like, exactly. It's like siphoning a car. If you lose that prime, you're pulling pretty hard, just like a well. If you lose the prime on the well, what happens with the air conditioning is you actually can create a negative effect inside that drain line and actually
draw it back.
And actually draw it back in, correct. Well, so if there's any fumes in that pipe or there's any nasty, you think about it, stuff's been sitting in there for years.
Sure.
Just
underground
bacteria
in that
right.
4-inch pipe.
So my only thought is that stuff is getting sucked back up inside there. And that's where every time the air conditioner comes on, he's smelling that nasty stuff that's being pulled back up inside there. It was perfectly sealed underneath the air conditioner. There was nothing in there. There was nothing around it. Yeah, there was a bathroom there, but they would notice it periodically if it was pulling in. The duct system was all brand new, so that wasn't the case. That was the only issue. So I was anxious for him to I made some recommendations.
Was he currently using that as the drain line for his new air conditioning?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So we had made a recommendation because it was in the middle of the house, you wouldn't have been able to run a new drain line. So what we made a recommendation is he had already bought what's called a condensate pump. And it's just a little pump, and what you do is put it underneath the air conditioner, and the water drains into this pump. And then when it gets filled up, it pumps it outside via a little hose that you attach to it. Well, what that would allow us to do is disconnect the old drain, get rid of that, cap it off so you can't get any odor out of it, close it off outside, and then run this condensate pump outside, which would allow you to have all the features that you need. So I'm anxious for him to see if he did that and what the result was, because I would be shocked at what else. I mean, there was another company went out there. The guy said the guy was out there 6 times and couldn't find it. Now, I'm not saying I found the problem, but I mean, we just deduced everything.
Well, if there was junk coming out of the one end, you know that. I mean,
and there was a puddle down there. I mean, that's the only thing and he's just breaking it down to the lowest common denominator. So I hope that it fixed it for him. But that's the kind of stuff that I do when we come out to your house. Now, I'm working on hiring a couple people for my company. One of them is a person that goes out and helps me with these inspections, and also trying to get some guests and promotions and stuff like that for the radio show. So I got a couple positions I'm hiring for. I'm also hiring for somebody, kind of working at home, because I'm helping to get. I'm bringing on a kind of, I guess you would call them a marketer. They're not selling anything, but what they're doing is basically calling and contacting companies and homeowners and things like that to just kind of get some data and survey and things of that nature. Help me with the unlicensed to steal, to call municipalities. So if there's anybody out there that's kind of want to work it at home and needs to make a little extra cash, go to the website comforttimelive.com. My phone number's on there. Give me a call. Send me an email. Make a couple extra bucks cash. So don't forget comforttimelive.com. Don't forget we have ctlconsultants.com. And we touched base briefly on the heater situation. When you first turn it on, we've talked about this before, you're going to get a little bit of an odor. If it lasts any more than 10 or 15 minutes, you need to call somebody and have them come out. If you just had a new air conditioner installed and you go to turn your heat on for the first time and it does not work, don't panic. There's probably 2 simple solutions. One, believe it or not, the heater was never hooked up. And number 2, thermostats are not always sold based on the region that they're shipped to. So throughout the United States, there are more gas furnaces in the world than a standard electric heater. So
because they didn't think we needed heat down here in Florida.
So on the back of the thermostat, there's typically a switch that says gas or electric.
Really? And it could be just that easy?
That easy. You would be amazed. Every company I've ever worked for, at the beginning of the heating season, you will get inundated with phone calls. And 60% of them will be that the installers didn't flip the switch when it came time.
Now, I used to run an apartment complex in West Texas, and when the weather would get cold, we would get calls and I would take my little paintbrush, and I would take off the front of the thermostat and just clean it, the dust.
Yeah.
Boom, it would work.
Yep.
So
Contacts probably just,
yeah.
Yep,
but those were really old school thermostats.
the Mercury ones.
Yeah, this was a while back.
Well, don't forget, we're going to be back here next Friday, ladies and gentlemen, at 11:05, and I want to wish everybody and their family, and please, our hearts go out to the children. It's at Connecticut, right? In Connecticut. Let's all keep them in our thoughts and our prayers, and everyone have an absolutely wonderful Christmas and holiday, and we will see you closer to the new year. Thanks a lot. Take care. Have a great day.
This is WPSL